part of the metals mania market. Definitely, obviously, silver's part of it. But what did we start the week with? Let's move to the first slide. Remember, we started the week with, you know what? Some of these headlines you almost forget as the week ends. But we started the week with steel and aluminum companies surging on this threat of increasing those levies from 25% to 50%. Like, that's how we started the week, right? Mm-hmm. We ended the week, obviously, with just the non-farm payroll that came out. Markets seem to like it so far. Showed a slight add in jobs while the unemployment rate stayed the same at 4.2%. Most of the job stuff I would say that we got this week did not show any effect from any tariff or anything that we've got so far. I mean, the jobs report seems to be fine, whether it was ADP, whether it was JOLTS earlier in the week or non-farm payroll seem to be good. Interest rates. So obviously, so far, one of the things that we're trying to figure out is if the Fed is ever going to lower interest rates this year. Bank of Canada did not lower their interest rates this week, and I think they just came out with a jobs report that showed their unemployment rate ticked up to 7%, so you can imagine why. Mm-hmm. ECB, they had rate decision as well, and they dropped 25 basis points to 2%, so they seem to be comfortable cutting in this environment, even though, again, you're in the midst, theoretically, in the midst of a trade war. Earlier, what was it, a week and change ago, it was discussed that maybe there were going to be 50% tariffs in the EU, so they don't seem to be worried about it. They're like, whatever, we're still cutting rates. I don't care what you say. They're not making any moves. Meta, they signed a deal with Constellation Energy this week, supposedly because they need more power for AI, right? So you're seeing that. That's one of the higher percentage names on the year, Constellation Energy, I think, along with NRG. So some of these utility names, I mean, we've never really seen utilities move like this, and it seems like the business might be changing when you start talking about nuclear power. So volatility is pretty chill. Not exactly sure where VIX or VVIX currently are, but they're around that range of their long-term average.
1713 right now on the VIX. Okay. Volatility futures at 1892. Down 50 or 85 ticks.
There's a cost to carry in there too. Volatility futures. That's why. Yeah. It's higher. It's not pointing to anything directional basis. But you're right. 1713 right now is
it's the low of the week.
Yeah.
I think maybe we got there.
Yeah. Remember, it was in the 15 handle back in February or so. But yes.
Yeah.
Surprising with everything that's going on. I don't know about. I'll ask Jamal since he's on the show. With everything going on, I mean, I thought volatility would contract a little bit here, but I didn't think we were getting under the 20 handle. That's $1,000 from where we are right now in volatility. What do you think, Jamal?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I didn't think we would be quite under 20 again. I thought we were going to hang around maybe like 19 to 20, somewhere in there. So the fact that we've dropped down to 17 again, when I did this like earlier the other morning, I mean, we were not at 17, and so it's just kind of showing you, I guess, you know, the ebb and flow. Again, I fully expect us to be back around 19 to 20 probably by next week, based on whatever different reason that might pop up.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Let's move to the first slide. Take a little inventory on the month. I said June. I actually mean May on this, but tech, of course, SPY was 5.5%, so that's kind of your middle of the road marker there. Tech was up 8.8% in May. Consumer discretionary, of course, anytime the market's doing well, consumer discretionary is going to be up there, 7.14%. Industrial, 7%. Communication, which includes Amazon, up 5.5%. Financials from there, you know, financials, utilities, materials, all around the 3% range. Energy, we haven't seen a whole lot from oil, of course, recently, but still positive, 2.2%. A lot of these energy names, consumer staples, and then healthcare, with UNH, of course, leading the way, was your biggest loser on the month of May.
Yeah, UNH still can't really get itself going anywhere. Trading 297. It's up $1 today, but it's at the low end of its range.
Vol has come in there so much.
It was a huge
Dude, the other morning it dropped like a solid 20 ticks. I think it was I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday morning. It dropped like 20 ticks.
Like,
out of the blue. And that's a sector in a stock that like typically doesn't have that. I mean, it's more normalized in like the 30-40 handle. I mean, even 43% monthly implied volatility now is probably on the higher end of its range. prior to the craziness.
Yeah, I don't think you
it's
ever
not
see
a
volatility in UNH.
like it's a dividend stock. Like it's not one that
Yep.
you typically look to sell premium in. It's not really one of the movers in the market. So
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
dare I say, it has become a lot like Boeing was in like 2019, 2020, 21, right? Where it just seemed like thing after thing keeps happening, and on a certain set of circumstances that unfortunately keep happening to UNH. So hopefully they can right the ship at some point. But you're right; it's been a great fall selling vehicle. I've always kind of liked the idea of trying to sell premium in bigger names like that. I just feel like you have a lot more strikes to play with. I usually, obviously, because it's so big, you're probably risk defined. But I've always kind of liked that because it's just the percent of the time that those you get touched, or even the wings get touched, or anything doesn't happen too often sometimes. But when it's like this and it's moving around, it's a little hard to do. So I did initially on the big fear drop. When it dropped below like 300, I sold a put that worked out, and I haven't touched it since.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So you can do.
Let's move to the next slide.
Yeah.
Here's the chart, man. So blue, of course, is gold, but look at silver. Silver, all of a sudden, to the highest level in 13 years. It's been a nice. I'm gonna play a little vecchio for you guys here. It's been a nice long 13-year base. And we'll see what happens after this, man. But again, this is reminiscent of some of the times that we saw in 2011 when you're seeing silver move the way it's moving right now. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Nothing. You're not interested.
Something's got to give here.
Yeah.
Something's got to give. Yeah, but which way?
I don't know.
That's the thing.
That's why you do the pairs.
That's why you do the pairs, and you don't have
That's why you
to.
do the pairs. You don't have to make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to take the pain for a little bit, and then you'll get it.
It all comes down to size, right?
Yeah.
You gotta keep the size right.
It
Yeah.
all comes down to size. Yeah. Copper, of course, is within this too. Haven't looked at palladium or platinum, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're also making much an inroads to the upside too. So the metals have been going kind of crazy recently.
Yeah, copper had a nice little bounce back from the April sell off when everything was going nuts. Basically back to where it was trading at just under 5.
Yep. Let's move to the next slide. So here's some of your year-to-date performances in currencies. Obviously, dollar needs no introduction. Dollar's down almost 8% on the year. Look at the euro. Like I said, flying high. They're not worried about any tariffs. What's thinking tariffs? They ain't worried about anything right now. British pound right behind it. Japanese yen's even positive. I mean, something's crazy when the Japanese yen is positive. Mexican pesos up, Canadian dollars toward the lower end, and Australian dollar as well. But then, obviously, the interesting thing about this is it just gives you a lot of sort of insight to the health of their currencies and what's going on with these countries, right? Probably a good time to mention that we have TastyFX on the platform now, so people can obviously play these off of anything you do with any of your trading pairs, your currency pairs. But yeah, this is what's going on with currencies.
You've been dabbling in there.
I'm long the New Zealand dollar.
You're going,
you say it like you got a new toy or something like that.
Yeah, it's the first time I've some of these pairs, are not available any other way. I mean, they don't have futures for them. The sizing is amazing. You can get super, super small, and then you can get into, things that you don't normally think about or look at. I had somebody in our YouTube chat, tell me to look at New Zealand dollar. Is at the lows? Maybe there's a little move higher. It hasn't really moved, but yeah, it's fun to trade them. But I'm kind of short every currency against the US dollar right now. Besides that, like I have some short Japanese yen, which I just took off here. I'm short the euro a little bit.
You're going against Sazonov on this. Sazonov likes the dollar go lower. So
really,
yeah.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm against them.
Well, since you bring it up, for what reasoning does he like?
Yeah, that makes me feel
in
great.
The principal's office this afternoon.
Yeah,
parents will have to come in to get you.
That's okay. So it makes a market.
Yep.
It's what makes a market for sure.
That's right.
10 and 2s. I hadn't looked at this in a while, but Remember, we had that 14-month period where essentially this was in the red and the negative, and it's bounced out in September, and it's been on the run recently as 2 years start to fold a little bit, and tens have been sort of elevated. Right, we saw it above 4.5%, but this is kind of normalized out, so around 50 to 60 basis points. This spread has been. I don't know how many people are trading this spread. I'm not trading it currently. You guys do anything?
You know,
No, I haven't, but Tom plays it for sure.
I took so much pain for that 14-month period of being trading the 210 spread that I stopped thinking about it because you'd see all the headlines. It only stays inverted for a month, 30 days, 60 days, whatever, and then we're like 6 months in. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this stupid trade.
I'm the world's worst commodity trader.
So-
Stay away from it too.
so-
You have my genes.
Yeah, I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah, I think I don't think I ever actually traded the spread per se, but yeah, I mean I did. I wasn't encouraged by what was going on, and so I was scared of that spread, and for good reason. I mean, I figured it could last for a while. Never thought thinking it would last over a year and change, but yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, they have the 10 and 2-year yield products, the CME futures products, which I would just continuously roll and roll and roll, and it never went your way. The whole, for 6-8 months, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, but that's where it is now. Let's move to the last slide. Tesla supposed to be targeting June 12th for the date of the release of the robotaxi in Austin. So that's something on the horizon. Sports betting stocks this week were in the news. DraftKings and Flutter fell on this new Illinois tax equity into their earnings. Hims continues to be in the news as well. They purchased this privately held telehealth company in European telehealth company. There was a new IPO yesterday, Circle Internet Group. I don't even really know what they do, but apparently they're a holder of a large amount of stable coins. It seems like something right up Nikki's alley. I bet Nikki knows exactly all about it. Big IPO yesterday. The stock was all over the place, too.
Up another $12 this morning, too.
Is it? Is it above 100 again?
It's at 94 and change. Got to 98. You got to be careful. I mean, there's nothing to do. Unless you're buying it and scalping out of it, that's the only way to trade these. Same thing with CoreWeave. You got to just be careful.
Yeah. Don't trade the call options there. There's like 150 to 180% borrow rate. In the money calls will be exercised.
And call spreads will look like they're, free money. You look at them and you're like,
none.
Yeah. They are not.
Get hit with a borrow rate.
Yeah.
The inflation reports next week, CPI on Wednesday, PPI on Thursday, and then research June 4th, Tasty Bites, 3 key elements for small account trading. Check it out.